I'll be going through the steps necessary to add a Puppy Linux distro on a legacy BIOS machine. This is an old HP lab, the tower, which is presently running JMePup 32-bit, but it is a 64-bit machine with a 4 gig of RAM. So let me show you what I am presently. I have a F96-CE-4 ISO, which is a recent version of a FOSSA-PUB 64, and am running right now on this screen is the JMePup 32 ISO, and I want to and then these two, this is JMePup 32 and this is CE4. So on a grub menu screen, I can either go to this one or this one, but we'll be adding a BioPup 64, so we can actually triple boot. So if you can take a brief look at the G part, I have one internal SSD, SDA1, and it's broken down into several partitions. SDA1 is right here, so it has a because of it is a non-UEFI machine. It's a legacy BIOS. It uses menu list to direct the boot menu. So we'll close that, and then the second partition is where I have this files that the puppy from the ISO. SDA3 is actually just purely save partition. So I have labeled the SDA3 as capital SAV partition, and that within it there is a save folder which will have to configure it. So the BioPup 64 save folder will be living here in effect. So we'll go through the steps necessary with the grub for DOS to be configured here. So, and then SDA5 is purely just data partition, where I have pictures and music and documents, etc. And then this last partition is swap partition, and I have elected to give it about 8 gig of swap. But because of this is a legacy BIOS, these two are in extended partition, extended non-primary partition. So this is where my Bionic Pup 64 ISO is here, and what we'll have to do is we'll have to put the part of ISO into this folder partition, and SDA2 where the puppy ISOs are, files are. So from here, what we can do is we'll make up a directory, and then we'll call it a BP64 for now, Bionic Pup 64, which is we'll just go ahead and do that, and we'll close this. And now we see it here, and we'll go ahead and click in it. And then what we'll have to do is just simply copy the files into that folder. So we want to go ahead and mount this image, and then the files that it needs is all the SFS files. 1, 2, let's see if there's any more. Just simply 2 SFS files. So we'll just go ahead And also we also need the vmlins and init.rd. So those are basically all the files from the ISOs that it needs, so the grub to go ahead and start Bionic Pup. So we'll just go ahead and just drag this over here and copy. So we'll give it a couple a couple of seconds here, and we'll go ahead and we don't need this anymore. So we'll go ahead and close, and so we also do not need this anymore. And then we'll just go back out to one folder. So here we put it in this BP64. So now at this point what we can do is run a grub. So it's under setup. We're under setup. What we can do is grep for DOS bootloader configuration. And I have one hard drive, so that's the partition we're working with, and we want to go ahead and search within it. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and force it to look in. So there is three Puppy Linux distros that it found, which is correct. So I prefer to just go ahead and rename this to a simpler form, JP32. So that's the one that we are recording from. And the next one is BP64, which is the one we just installed. And then next one is CE4, which was present before. So rest of it, this is all okay. So we're gonna go ahead and give it an OK, and then we'll go ahead and give it OK. Now it's gonna replace whatever the menu list that was there before. So we're gonna give it an OK, and then we're gonna take a look at the menu list and then edit it. So we'll go ahead and so this is the menu list that's just been created. So so first thing is we'll go ahead and go way up, and we don't need to go 10 seconds, maybe 4. And default is that it means default 0 means the next time it starts it's gonna boot first as a default to JP32, which is the one that I'm recording from. But what we just installed is JP64, so we'll just go ahead and rather than putting it into 32, we want to put into the new ISO. So we'll go ahead and put it just 1. And so if I enter 2, obviously it'll default into booting it into CE4. So we'll go ahead and maintain, and then we don't need the Windows. So I don't have Windows program at all here. So, and then what we also need to do is add, because save folder will be placed in a separate partition, what we need to do is psave equals SAV and colon and SAVE. So let me see if this is correct, and let me just load up one of the older menu list. So we'll just go ahead and load this one up, and then the exact wording I will need is psave equals saved for save. So that's pretty close to what I put in, but I think I need to go ahead, and it'd be easier just to copy and then menu list again, and then put it right there, replace it, and so that's space there, and we need a space at psave, so we'll go ahead and enter that there. We also gonna do it likewise, a same save partition will be used for all three Puppy Linux, so we'll go ahead and make that, and then we'll also save that. So We'll save that, and then now the menu list is configured all correctly, and save file will be placed in the correct partition under save folder right here. So now everything should be all correct, and then next time when you boot up, you should boot into the BP64 quick setup, first setup, and then you save it, and then you're on your way to having yet a third Puppy Linux as I just demonstrated from JamiePup32. I hope this is clear and interesting for you. Thanks.